it is not very bright to upset your neighbours. You see, it can cause boundary issues. You know, we can put the fence, such as the border between Canada and the United States. No. Such a terrible idea to upset your neighbours. But you know what else is a terrible idea? Is to, remove yourself from your neighbours, your closest trading partners, such as the United Kingdom. What it did, well, in 2015, June 24th, when a whole load of numpties put the cross in the wrong box, voted out of the European Union. Brexit, Brexit, oh dear. Well, there are people out there who are still campaigning for a rejoin. But there is no such thing as rejoining the EU, there's only joining. You see, Article 49, etc, etc. But you see, the UK is not in a logical position to join the European Union. Not in full, no. Maybe there could be some kind of side deal done. Some sort of sidekick, maybe. I don't know. That'd be down to negotiation, wouldn't it? But my feeling is that under the current rules of the European Union, whether or not we could rejoin or join the European Union at any time in the future, at the moment, in our current state, I feel it's for the birds. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I feel it's for the birds. Now, at a time when Russia is rearing its ugly head, and everything is up in the air regarding our defence, and we're concerned that we can't rely on the United States. No. How can we? When you got President Dum Dum, who happens to be, well, most likely a Russian asset, Krasnov. Well, if we were ever going to join the European Union, now would be the time to do it. More hands on deck, you see. Having more joined up thinking about defence and industry and trade. Instead, we've got tariffs, just like you have, between Canada and the United States and Mexico, then obviously China and whoever else he wants to put tariffs on. It's all madness. But you see, there's a party called the Rejoin Party. Yeah, Rejoin the EU Party. Yeah, it's run by Brendan Donnelly. And I interviewed him once. He's a nice enough chap, bit of a Tory, you could say. But from what I could tell, he wasn't, interested in the facts about Brexit and what we would have to do. It's almost like, yeah, of course we can, join the EU, we say rejoin the European Union. As though it was a foregone conclusion, as long as we say, give them the Article 49 and what have you, then to go through all the rigmarole. I don't think even that would get passed. Let alone the final stages. I think he's a little bit deluded, actually, is Brendan Donnelly. We're nowhere near in a position. I agree that we must keep fighting for it. If you truly want to join the European Union again. But we also need to understand that we will have to give up certain things, such as the pound, the sterling, and be part of the Eurozone. If we want to take it seriously. You see, I can't see the British people ever agreeing to that, even if they wanted to rejoin or join the European Union. So Labour MPs apparently they need to listen to their pro-European supporters and back growing public calls for a rethink of the government's doomed Brexit reset. There is no reset in Brexit. We've got our trade and cooperation agreement. We've got our trade deal. That's going to be assessed this year. But we've still got our trade deal. It ain't great. No. But it's the best that we could get at the time. Is the European Union likely to lighten up? Yes. Recently they have said they would. By how much, I don't know. But so has the UK said that they would, there's been a leak to say they'd lighten up, such as youth passports, etc., which will allow students to stay in the UK and vice versa in the EU as well. That would actually make life a lot easier, and also remind people, allow the youngsters to know, to experience the benefits of being able to be more nomadic, you know. I'm not going to say become an expat, because that's a load of bollocks, okay, as far as I'm concerned. Migrants. I live in France. I'm a migrant, okay. I pay my taxes here. I live here as though, it's my home. Well, this is actually part of my workshops. But this is where we are. We love it here. And we're not going anywhere. No. Unless we're forced to, obviously. Never know what happens in the future, do you? No, not if Vladimir Putin decides to start invading. So polls have consistently shown rising dissatisfaction with Brexit because there's no gains. The fishermen absolutely screwed themselves over Brexit. They had to cut their boats up because of Brexit. So they've disappeared. There's a few out there, but the majority of them have disappeared and took the payout. The farmers absolutely screwed themselves because of Brexit. They voted for it as a majority. Not every farmer voted for Brexit, obviously not. Not every fisherman voted for Brexit, obviously not. But a majority did. Campaigned it heavily, they did. For 0.1% of the UK's GDP, which made no sense whatsoever. But I tell you what doesn't make any sense to me is not knowing your own industry. I've been in construction all my life. I know absolutely everything regarding getting the groundworks done to putting the roof on. And everything in between. Because you have to. You learn it over a period of time. But you see, I know my industry. I know how it works. I know how dependent we are on imports of timber and cement and other construction materials. And Brexit has pretty much screwed us over that. And the farmers also are dependent on subsidies, or they were. Well, they're still dependent on them, but they're not getting them. You've got the subsidies, you've got the inputs. Most of the inputs, such as nitrogen, what have you, supplied from within the European Union. See, there's all these factors that no one seemed to have any joined up thinking at the time. It's all based on rhetoric, a feeling, sovereignty. Make your own laws. How's that panned out for you? It hasn't. I have to admit, Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, he has been performing quite well of late in dealing with this crisis in Ukraine, especially since Donald Trump is quite happy to murder Ukrainians by omitting intelligence information which protected Ukrainians. 5 children died as a direct result of Donald Trump's actions. He's a murderer. Okay? He intentionally did it. He knew what the outcome would be. And he still did it. He's a murderer. I can't imagine what Volodymyr Zelensky is thinking at the moment. See, us in Europe, we need to say sod them lot. We need to stick together. And that includes the United Kingdom. It's in Europe, you know. Still. I know if you're Brexit, you don't believe that, but you are. It's a continent, alright? And Africa's not a country, okay? Just so you know. Anyway, what say you? Do you think Brendan Donnelly is dreaming if he thinks that we can rejoin? Yeah. He says this is not a reset at all. It's just tinkering around the edges. Rejoin EU party leader Brendan Donnelly told the LBC News in an interview just yesterday. And there's a lot of Labour supporters deeply disappointed in what Starmer and his chums are doing in this fraudulent reset. There is no reset. I agree. But also there's no rejoining. It is joining. Simple as that. We will become a new member that we happen to be a member before. Now when you leave the old gym, you cancel your membership and you decide you want to go back again. You don't get all your previous privileges, do you? You get the ones that are currently offered to you. Just how it is. What happens when you leave the club and you have no longer got a seat at the table. Just like what happened a few days ago regarding where all the European leaders got together and started discussing security. Well, the UK was left out. But you know, mates, that's what we are. We thought we had the USA to break bread with, but not anymore. No, because it's not to be trusted. Donald Trump is not to be trusted. You have a rogue actor in your government. We had a rogue actor. Nigel Farage, if you like. And we still have. The world's gone upside down. It really has. Now, there's one thing that gets to me sometimes. It gets in my head, it does. I can't remember what it is now. It's pathos, ethos, logos. So it'd be like emotions, sentiment for pathos. Ethos would be like trust and honesty and being real with yourself and others. And then logos, which is logic and to defend, etc., etc. They're just simple principles that we should live by and to keep our families and people around us safe. But there is no logic. There's no logic in Brexit. There's no logic in why people voted for Donald Trump. Where's logic in that? There ain't any. It's all based on feelings. Just feelings. And you can have the feelings, that's fine. But you need the logic. You need honesty, the truth. Everything needs to come together. And if you remove elements out of it, the whole thing collapses. That's what I'm saying at the moment. It's just pathos. And it's just feelings, it's sentiment. And you can't make decisions on the basis of just decisions that affect people's lives and their futures on the basis of just feelings, sentiment. It makes no sense. And they tell us, oh, it's common sense. There's very rarely common sense in anything that they say. Because they're fucking stupid. Toodaloo.